Hi guys. So after learning how to move the chess pieces as a young child, I actually started playing properly in June of 2020. And now, June of 2021, I'm looking back over the year's progress that I've made. So I've got 3 games that I've picked out. One from, I think, the very first day I started again. And then one from 2 months after that, and one from very recently. And you can see my percentage accuracy was 27% in that first game. Very bad. So we're going to go through these 3 games and see how I've progressed. And at the end, I'm going to go through how much time I've put in to achieve the 600 or 700 point increase in ELO that I've had, depending on whether you look at my blitz or rapid rating. So E4, D4 is what I started with. This is what I've always played as a kid. I always like this move, because it gets your queen and your bishop out, and I still think the same thing. Still a good move. So that's what I played when I first set up this chess.com account. Luckily, I can take here. There was a little bit of pressure on my king with a pawn attacking the pinned piece, but luckily we can take. And we get this isolated pawn position. I defend with the queen, which probably I wouldn't do now, getting the queen out that early. And they gain a bit of tempo here, but I just take, and they cannot recapture because the knight is pinned to the king, right? So they slide back. I go for this checkmate threat. Being quite aggressive is my natural state, I think. And then I go for this, just trading off pieces, knowing I'm up material. And here, instead of trading queens, I'm young, red-blooded young chess girls, goes for the pawn instead of trading queens. At this point in my life, a wiser older man, I would steady it on and trade queens here. But I went for this pawn, and I got myself in all sorts of trouble. And I had the massive conkers, which I wouldn't have now. I just sacrificed the queen for 2 rooks. I wouldn't really recommend beginners doing that. It's just hard. It's a hard position to play out, 2 rooks against a queen as a beginner. Like, GMs do it all the time, but yeah, here I was sub 1000 trying to play 2 rooks against a queen. It's tough. And I hang a bishop here, which he does take eventually. And he mops up all my pawns. But I do get a chance again in this game, actually. I tempo the queen around, maybe trying to trap it. And then I lose my knight as well. But you wouldn't believe it, guys, but I still have a big chance of winning this. In just a second, I connect the rooks, and look where the king is here. So they step away. I bring my king, key move, which takes away these squares. And now, bang, mate in 2. But I don't see it, guys. This is naive young chess girls, remember. So I go here, and I'm messing around I'm trying to win this knight. I'm thinking, oh, let's pin this knight, win it. I mean, the pin is silly because they've got a check which just doesn't win the rook because we slide back. But as a kid, I always used to play chess like this. I used to try and mop up every single piece before I then went for the checkmate. So hence why I didn't see this threat with the rooks. But I like to think that as I've played a bit more, I now have a bit more of awareness with checkmating patterns. So here, this was 2 months after I started playing, and I've achieved a rank of, I think it was 1100 at this point. So, yeah, 1125. So I go after the queen. Maybe putting the knight on the edge of the board isn't the best, but it's okay. I'm just, right now, in my current state of being a bit more aware than I was here. I'm screaming at myself, what is this knight doing on the edge of the board? But at this point in time, I'm just happily marching out. Winning a pawn here. Pretty happy. And actually, that's just gorgeous, isn't it? Wins a rook. And I get the knight out. Often when you win a rook, the knight gets trapped in the corner. But I think at this point, I was underrated, guys. I was playing chess maybe 2 or 3 hours a day in these first couple of months. I started playing again. And yeah, I was probably a little bit underrated at this point. So I trade down material. And I'm looking fairly solid in the way I'm, apart from that, looking fairly solid, apart from the hanging of the piece. But this all seems pretty clinical, coming in with the rooks. Am I going to double the rooks? I do. Double the rooks, and that game is going to end very quickly, guys. you don't want to see the numbers. At the end of this video, I'm going to share with you the numbers of how long I've actually spent playing. So, this is a game from very recently, and this is an advanced French, and you can see the accuracy. So the first day I started playing, 27% accuracy. After 2 months in, it was 80% accuracy, but it was a bit of an easy game. So I was probably more like 60, and then now I'm playing, again, this was a game where I played well, 97% accuracy, but I'd say I'm more about the 80-90% range nowadays in a 10-minute game anyway. So you got this position. Now this invited the push of this pawn, which we love to reinforce the center and kick the bishop. And then I reroute the knight to hit that bishop, trying to chase it down, always putting pressure. And then I've taken a fair bit of space. So obviously there's still not a lot I need to work on, but we're seeing that I'm playing, it all feels more, you know, more like cohesive. I use that word way too much, but yeah, the position just feels like it's all coming together nicely. Hit the queen there, the rook's on the open files. I'm looking quite nice here. And let's see how I clean up this game. So I lose a pawn here, but I get the check, and I think this pawn is going to be the threat. Maybe promoting this, but I actually give it up and then come back with the queen in order to try and push this pawn instead. And I'm just a pawn up in an endgame here. I think that's one of the big things, guys. As you get better and better, you get more comfortable in situations where you're just a pawn up. So at the beginning of this video, a year ago, I probably needed to be up a queen, up 8 points to feel confident. Whereas now, give me an extra pawn, give me an extra couple of pawns, and I'll be, you know, fairly confident I can clean up. And that's what happens as you get better, guys. Smaller margins, you're able to push towards victory. So this is just to show the charts. This is my blitz chart over the 1 year. Where was it? July 2020. So I did set up an account a few years ago, you can see here, but I didn't really play much. The line is flat. But here's where I really started playing, and there's a big increase, but then it sort of slowed down, and it's sort of going up gradually now. And then the rapid, similar thing. Set up an account a few years ago, but I started playing rapid around July of last year. Shot up quick, and then again, it's sort of gradual improvement. So guys, just to make you feel better, you might think, oh, I've not gone up 600 in the last year, or you might have gone up like 100 or 2 in the last year, and that's, if you're going up, that's the right direction. You know, right. I've spent 3.5% of the last year of my life playing chess. That's 8 days of blitz, 5 days of rapid. I'm a sweaty little nerd, guys. So, I mean, yeah, that's what it took me. I'm a little bit embarrassed that I've spent this much time playing chess. But maybe there's some people out there that have spent more time than me this last year, but probably not many. But I do love it. And oh yeah, and about the YouTube channel, I think when I started recording speaking at the same time as playing chess, it actually made me play quite a bit worse. But now I think vocalizing stuff allows you to actually learn it yourself. Like, teaching is the best form of learning, sort of thing. So I think actually long term doing this YouTube channel will help me. So yeah, that's my progress over the last year, guys. Like and subscribe if you want to join me on this journey. See what happens over the next year. So cheers.